got exhausted every time he heard that song when it came on. After a while, it was just crazy.
That girl is a real crowd pleaser.
Okay. All right. So look, enough of that. We ain't gonna go into that.
So we
One
talking
hit, and you on
about.
the top 50?
So look, we talking about the new top five, right? Let's talk
Yes.
about the new top five. So what's been going around town in my rap talk, in my rap groups of conversations and things that I saw on social media is that Biggie and Tupac might no longer need to be in the top five. Was Two Live Crew? Let's answer Mike Stewart's question before we go on. Was Two Live Crew on the list?
No.
Let's
Two
see.
Live Crew was not on the list.
Yeah, they were number 32.
Were they? Oh, they were number
They were
32.
one ahead of a Goody Mob, two ahead of Brand Nubian, one behind Boogie Down Productions.
Oh, I stand corrected. I stand corrected.
Yeah, now they're on the list. So
Oh,
so is that? Let me ask that first question because this is where we're gonna really have a good conversation. Is
it's gonna be a
Biggie
fun
and
one too.
Tupac? Is Biggie? Yeah, thank you for putting the number up. Is Biggie and Tupac's reign in hip hop, as far as their content or their catalog, is it not long enough for them to still be in the top five in today's conversation with all the new artists over the past 20 years? Go K Dizzle.
Absolutely is long enough. Absolutely is long enough. I mean, there's no question. And you can talk about, okay, if they each have about 4 albums at minimum, right?
Okay.
Each of them have 4 albums at minimum. Okay. And we're talking about undeniable quality. Okay. Exact. Erica said it right on the nail on the head. Their music is timeless.
Are we
Um,
when we talk about the top five list,
mhm.
are we only talking music, or are we also talking cultural impact and every other like thing that came with it?
I mean, we're talking about, if we're going to talk about top five dead or alive, we're talking about you got to be almost go to status, and it's got to encompass all of those things. So, you know, cultural impact, cultural change, um, and also lyricism, and you talking about storytelling. So you can get all three of them things. You know, Big has 2 albums, unless you're counting the double CD. Big has Respect. He's has no, he's got Born to Die. He's got Born to Die.
Life
Ready to
after
Die. Excuse me.
ready to die,
Ready to
life after
Die.
death.
He's got Life After Death. Okay. He's got Ready to Die and Life After Death, which is the double CD. Okay.
Tupac's got
Um,
Tupac's got Machiavelli.
look at Sal. I don't
He's got the double
Sal.
CD.
Stop it.
He's got the double CD of come on, help me out, man. My mind's slipping. Tupac's double CD that had like
Hold on.
everything on it. That had Ambitions of a Rider and all that on it.
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
Come on, man. What is wrong with my thinking tonight?
Yeah,
410.
we ain't counting anything after that. Um,
What's the
you got
double
Ready to Die and
CD
Life After Death.
that had the Ambitions of a Rider on it?
You see what Sal said? Talking about Fresh Prince to be in top five. Fresh Prince is they're on the list because they won
All
a
eyes
Grammy.
on me. All eyes on me.
All Eyes on Me.
Yeah. Tupac had All Eyes on Me, which was a double disc that had 20 hits on it. And he had Machiavelli. And he had
All Eyes on Me and Machiavelli.
one before that.
What?
I forgot what it was called, but he had an album before that.
Oh, strictly for my next 93. Yeah. Okay. So even with just the two, right? He started all with Run DMC. Stop it.
So you're saying
I'm
Biggie
not
and
listening
Pac
to
still
Stop
in
It.
your top five?
Biggie
Yeah.
and Pac are definitely still in my top
All
five.
right. So who's your top five? You're not
All
taking
right.
Biggie and Pac out. You don't
And
think
let me do
about what
this
we're
in
talking about.
let me do this in no particular order because I
That's
don't want to
fine.
start the argument.
That's
Okay.
fine.
Okay. Biggie, Tupac, Jay-Z. Okay. Um, it comes to Nas, and my last spot. Mm, I got to give it to him. I got to give it to him. Eminem. I got to give it to Eminem. It's
Oh,
between
oh,
him and Rakim, and I might go
oh.
back and forth
So you
between it.
said Biggie, Tupac, Jay Z, Nas, and Eminem.
Yep.
Okay. So That's a hell of a list, K Dizzle.
Yep.
Wow. I appreciate how you ran it off with no fear. You didn't stutter. You said it with confidence, and you stood behind your decision. But I'm gonna tell you, for some reason, people have been talking about rap and like Tupac's rapping ability, and I've been hearing a lot of people talk about he wasn't the best rapper. Like like he was everything else, and like rap kind of came with it. But I don't know where you people are getting that idea from, because Tupac had some classics, and I'm talking about a good 20 to 25 strong hits. So my top five still gonna have Tupac and Biggie in it.
Hmm.
I can't classify Drake as a rapper. And here we go. Right? Everybody's gonna look at me and say, "Oh, I can't believe
No.
this guy's gonna come on here and hate on Drake." Hate
Are
on
you hate? Are you hating on him?
Drake is one of the best entertainers of the last era, right?
Hmm.
Because he's so versatile. Like he's very talented. He can act, sing, dance, rap. You know, very marketable talent. But in my opinion, he's not gonna rap his way out of a cipher when it comes down to putting him on stage with a Jada, a Wayne, and really making him have to rap himself out. Like every album that Drake put out had about four real hard body rap songs on it. And
Mm,
he always put out 16 to 20 track albums. He never put out short albums.
no.
So if you go back and you revisit all of Drake's albums, he had a lot of singing,
Are
a
you
lot of
uh,
dancing.
are you putting him on your top five though?
No, that's what I'm
You
trying to
doing?
say.
Yeah.
So I'm,
So
I'm trying to I'm trying to include other rappers who people are trying to put in the top five. This is the whole point of the conversation,
okay.
because people are trying to put Drake in their top five.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna
Preposterous.
come out here and just try to hate on you because you put Drake in your top five. But my question is, who are you removing if you do that? Because my top five, I'm gonna have Tupac, Biggie, Jay Z, Scarface,
Okay.
and Lil Wayne.
Okay. Okay.
And I know my list is gonna sound controversial. A lot of people are gonna
No, no,
disagree.
no. It's fine. Absolutely fine.
But please come and message me on Instagram. You know I have streams on IG again. Tupac, Biggie, Jay Z, Scarface, and Wayne are in my top five.
Okay. So, like Erica said, Wayne is in hers. Wayne is strong. Face was strong too, because I was, I'm always leaning towards Face. I wouldn't put for me, I wouldn't put him in my top five. I know he's top 10 for sure. Same with Wayne. Um,
My Nas is close for me.
hmm.
Nas is very close for me, but I have a personal like Wayne. I grew up on Wayne.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I came in on the end of Jay Z's like early beginning, but
Hmm.
I did a lot of research, studied him, and like listened to all his early shit, and that's why I definitely put Jay Z up in my
Right.
top, combo. But I grew up with Wayne on there.
Hmm.
Like the mixtape, there's a mixtape. Not even give a free promo, but there's a mixtape
Free
documentary
promo.
coming out. A mixtape documentary that's coming out,
Hmm.
and they show Jada and Wayne talking, and that's really what took rap to a whole nother level in the 2000s, because that mixtape run was crazy. Like Erica could probably attest to it because we're around the same age too. And if Wayne's in her top five, she can tell you those mixtapes were better than a lot of people's studio albums.
Mm. Well, the same way you say you grew up on Wayne, I grew up on Nas. So
So you're gonna have a
um,
different feeling
I'm gonna have a
about the
different feel
artist.
behind it. I'm going to have a definitely a different feel about it. And Wayne was crazy. Wayne's been crazy ever since he dropped with the Hot Boys, and he is a phenomenal rapper. We're all talking of objectively or subjectively because of our affinities to who we got. Now, to say that just because they have a short album span or career, due to life being what life is, taking them out of the top five just because of that, you cannot deny, the talent
Their
there. Yep.
lasting their lasting impact he does on, just like Erica said, the music is timeless.
Yeah. So Mike says, Rakim, Big, Wayne, Jay, and Nas. So
So
he
it's
he bumps Tupac gets bumped out.
so it sounds like that fifth.
That
Well,
fifth spot.
He put Nas in, and that fifth
Hmm.
spot's always open for interpretation. Like you had Eminem,
Hmm.
I had really Scarface because Wayne's in
Yeah.
my top three, and you know, I think you can easily start talking about Jada somewhere
Yeah.
coming up
Yeah. You can
in a
in
strong.
10. Yeah, in the 10, within the first 10.
But
Talk about that.
but I'm not mad. I feel you, Eric. Look, Tupac's on my wall in the studio behind me, Erica. So I'm with you. You know, but at the end of the day, bro, you can't put Drake in the top five right now.
Not at all.
You can't put Rick
Not at
Ross.
all.
You can't put Rick Ross in the top five. Who else could you even consider from this time right now?
From nobody from this time. Ain't nobody.
J. Cole and Kendrick. Could you put
Erica,
J.
stop.
Cole and Kendrick?
Erica, stop. Erica said Rough Riders. I'm not even putting that up there.
Could you put J. Cole and Kendrick in the top five?
No, I can't put them there yet. 410's got
If
Scarface,
you don't have
Jada,
Tupac,
Redman, Jay, and Nas. So
410 be working out too much.
you know,
Because you
no,
are
but
tripping if you don't
hey,
have if you got Redman in your top five and you don't have Tupac and Biggie in your top five, you
well,
smoking crack.
here's the two that we know that are undeniable, right? And I
Smoking
think
them yams.
I have.
I told you,
Oh,
see? See?
how can you retire? How can you retire that? How can
It's
you
and
retire that?
410 don't get in front of the camera, so
That's like saying
you can't
that's
put
like
them on.
saying I'm going to retire Michael Jordan, or I'm going to retire, Magic Johnson.
Is that
You know,
possible?
you no,
So what he's
no,
saying is what I asked basically.
yeah.
Can you basically put them on like an exempt
Can you
Mount
put them on the
Rushmore?
shelf? Can can you? Oh, can you put them on a Mount Rushmore?
I guess
The
he's saying you're putting them on like an exempt. But why? But why would you do that just to add more? Then you have a top seven because you're not you understand what I'm saying? You're not replacing them.
yeah,
You're just adding more rappers to the conversation so
yeah.
you don't have to argue about Tupac and Biggie.
So, and the thing about it is, if we're looking at it, we're really looking at it, right? Two that are undeniable that I think everybody's putting on their list. Well, either or, it's going to be one Jay Z, right, and two Biggie. Biggie and Jay Z are the undeniables. Everybody else can kind of go with the flow, or however they feel at that point. But those are, if you're going to put rappers that have that are on the Mount Rushmore, those are two that are definitely going to be there.
I
You
don't
might as
think
well go ahead.
I don't want to cut you off, but I don't necessarily think you cannot have Tupac in there with that. Wherever you put Biggie, for me, you got to put Tupac.
Yeah.
For me. So it's hard for me to just say Jay Z and Biggie and leave Tupac out. That doesn't make sense to me. But again, I don't know how you're gonna get anybody else. Could Kendrick and J Cole get to a top five? Can any of these rappers that are out right now get into that spot at any point in their career? Or are
In
we?
the top five,
Yes. Or are we gonna have to wait for future rappers to come out to get into that conversation?
I mean, I think Kendrick can get close. I think J Cole. I think both of them can get close. I even think Corday can get close
Okay,
if
so
he
let's
has a
talk about
phenomenal career.
so
But
let's talk about Kendrick. Be specific, real quick. I want to ask you a
okay,
question. You know music. What would Kendrick Lamar personally have to do from this point on to be entered into the top five greatest rapper alive conversation?
he just got to continue to make phenomenal albums. And then because the thing about Kendrick, even in this short career that he's had thus far in the limelight, we're not talking about the overall because we know he's been in the game forever, since the early 2000s. Um, he when he drops music, he does culturally shift the wave or whatever it is at that point.
I'm gonna tell you
You know
right
what I'm saying?
now,
So
right?
because look, remember that song Humble, Be Humble. That song has been played in public schools. That song has been played at all the dances. They're requesting that song. That song was being played in the White House. This guy has taken music and not only just transform it, but he can move across any area of any part of the culture. He can move across it, and the dude's killing
I'm
it,
gonna
man.
tell you, I went to the Baltimore Museum of Art today, right?
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to my baby Sinead because she had a great idea. She had knew an artist she had went to school with that had a painting that she had down there at the hip hop exhibit. That was today was the last day.
Mm-hmm.
They had a hip hop exhibit that was phenomenal, man. I'm talking about it was $15 a ticket, and it was worth it all the way around. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see I posted a whole bunch of pictures of like art that was relative to hip hop. So there was a room you could go in, and there was two like 20-foot screens sitting next to each other playing like this documentary style video. And I guess the theme was Good Kid, Mad City because it had Compton and different
Mm-hmm.
shots of just showing like what the whole culture is about, like different fake shots of the people, different little games shots, and like showing the band from like Good Kid, Mad City that he had driving around.
Yeah.
And as they were playing Kendrick's music, you would see how everything was tying together between the culture. There was like a drive-by that went down in the video and everything. Like if you could get a chance to see it, I think the videos on YouTube. I mean, Kendrick Lamar is out of this world talented,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think if anybody could get in the top five, it'd be Kendrick.
Yeah.
But Erica says keep being consistent, and you say he's got to put out more good albums, but how
He's
many
got to
more?
he's got to be consistent with the work he's been putting out. Because
But here's the argument: Biggie had two.
mm-hmm.
So how many albums does Kendrick have to put out
well,
to get into that conversation,
well,
or is
well,
that not a fair?
that's not a fair comparison.
Gotcha.
Because Biggie at his time was transformational and his time was cut short. Tupac at that same time was transformational and his time was cut
So
short.
so
So it's
when
not
you
fair.
when you tell these kids that they can hear us saying that, but they're not gonna understand because they didn't live through it.
Well,
They're gonna see the body of work and be like, how can you keep my man Kendrick out? How can you keep my man Kendrick out, or how can you keep my man Cole out of the top five when he put out four great albums?
mm, look, 410 brings up a valuable comment. When is the last time y'all listened to Kendrick? I'll wait. I just listened to King Kunta the other day.
And like
Um,
Sal said, albums are also not as popular today as well. And as you have the ability to stream whatever you want, playlists are a lot more popular. And certain songs are still in playlists. Like you just listen to King Kunta.
hmm
Like I'll listen to Good Kid, Mad City all the way through right now
right,
if I was to put it on.
right.
Like it's great content.
hmm
Like I can't tell you a Drake album I can play from start to finish.
We you gotta remember, like you just said, there are kids that grew up with Drake, so all they know from the core is Drake and his run, and so they're gonna put him. They're always gonna be in the top five category for them. Now,
I would listen to Thank You Later all the way through. I would.
yeah,
I would play Thank
what
You
album, what Drake album can you play from start to finish?
Thank Me Later for me.
Thank Me Later,
Because the further he got down the road, he had way more pop and way more dance and singing type music,
right?
and he took away those hard body rap songs that he would have. Erica
Well,
says Take Care. Take Care is a classic album, but I wouldn't. There's probably like three songs, four songs I would skip. But Thank Me Later, I would play all the way through.
okay, I can agree with that. I'm looking at the list, and that does make sense. I'm not sure. More albums is the answer. Some of the great had many albums with a lot of filler, as Jay Z said about Nas. He averaged one classic his 10 years.
That's why I keep reiterating Kid Dizzle, right? When people who were not around to really experience those times, when they start to break down just stats in the future,
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna say those few rappers are around for cultural impact. You can't really say they're gonna have more content to like compare to a Drake or a J. Cole because they were around to rap for so much longer.
And see,
But but their content to
Hmm.
me is still superior to all these guys.
Yeah, it's fair. Now, where would you rank? Where would y'all rank Old Dirty? Because his first album's a classic.
410 funny as hell.
That's like saying, that's like saying the youngins would say, Pop Smoke first and only album was a classic.
I mean, like that's like
Uh
that's like Juice World. Like
he
Juice
just
World.
yeah. They,
Let's talk about this young man. Like he had a huge cultural impact on these young kids, and I can't say that I felt that because I'm not in that demographic. So when they argue and say, well, his run while he was alive puts him in the top five, obviously,
mm,
obviously, you and me are gonna look at it and
no.
say,
So
"Fuck out of here."
we're we're going to say the same thing. Same thing I'll say about ODB. Same thing I say about Juice World. Same thing we'll say about XX Tentacion. Tentacion. I can't never say
X
it right.
XXL was a bad
X.
boy.
Yeah. So and we can also say the same thing about Pop Smoke. They all had waves. They all were popular at one time, but they weren't like making huge cultural shifts into taking it to a different era. Um,
But you also before I forget too, you also have a whole different wave. Like Mike said, they're not selling. Oh no, Sal said they're not selling albums. They're not making albums. YouTube is a whole nother wave.
mhm,
There's about a good 5 to 10 artists that crush it on YouTube.
yeah.
Like their music videos play at like high in the millions, like on replay, like the NBA YoungBoy, for example. He's got a whole like cult fan base following. You know what I'm saying? And there's other rappers like him, like Uzi Vert. These young kids are gonna start talking about these guys should be in the top five and top 10 list because if you look at their view count on YouTube, they're getting 50, 100 million, crazy amounts of views.
Views don't mean it's a good song. It just means it's popular. It just means it's been on TikTok long enough, apparently, because that's what the new world order is. If it's on long enough for TikTok and to get popular, that's where you get the views from.
Hey,
Um,
410, your top five was crazy. 410, I'm gonna have to talk to you about that
what-
because you said he retired. Mr.
he
Hip Hop
retired
said
Biggie
he
and
retired
Tupac.
Biggie and Tupac. What do you mean you retired them?
I can't. I don't know. I don't know what he's talking about. 410 is in a whole different category himself.
I know, and they know, 'cause we know.